Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be listing my top 10 most anticipated movies that are releasing currently in 2022. So of course, not all of these will 100% be releasing this year because of delays, obviously with the uncertainty of the pandemic. Some of these might get delayed, but these are the ones that are currently planned on being released in 2022. Some of these were supposed to release last year, actually, or well, yeah, I guess last year. So I don't know, they can definitely still get delayed, some of these, but some of these I think are definitely going to be coming out. Some of them come out really soon. Some of them we also don't have any trailers for, we don't even have any teasers for, but some of them we have a lot of trailers for. This is just based on my own personal excitement from what I've heard about the film, what directors are involved, what actors are involved, and again, if there are trailers, what the trailers look like. Also, what franchise is it attached to? Is it like a sequel to something? Is it something that I'm really looking forward to because it's following up something that I already really love? Most of these films are fitting in that category. Most of these films are a part of a bigger franchise. That's just because those movies tend to be more exciting. And also, don't forget that some movies that are going to release next year, or I guess this year, haven't even been announced yet. So there's definitely a chance that this list is going to change as the year goes along. As more movies come out, I might get more excited for something else that is announced. It just so happens that these ones are the ones that are currently announced and are announced to be releasing this year. And I'm very much looking forward to all 10 of these. So let's start with the list, starting with my number 10 spot, which is going to be Halloween Ends. So Halloween Kills was a movie that I enjoyed, but I thought was a little disappointing compared to Halloween 2018. But that doesn't change the fact that I'm still very excited for the finale to this Halloween trilogy, or I guess it's like a 4-part thing because it all, leads back to the original, but I'm still looking forward to this. I didn't like some of the directions they went with in Halloween Kills, but at the end of the day, it was still an entertaining movie that still had a lot of fun with. I still think Michael Myers is a concept that it's really hard to do something very different with, and I don't know what they're going to be able to do in this one that's going to be very different, but I just hope they make it so it's not like over-the-top ridiculous in some of the stuff that happens in the film, which was one of my biggest gripes with Halloween Kills, is that a lot of it was a bit ridiculous with how certain things went down. But that doesn't change the fact that I still think, especially Halloween 2018 was really solid, and I think some of the stuff in Halloween Kills was pretty damn good. I do think this movie is going to, at the very least, to be an entertaining film that will be fun to watch. A lot of brutal Michael Myers killings, which in Halloween Kills, that was one of the strong suits, where a lot of the kills were really damn good. So if they can one-up those in this one, then we're in for a pretty damn good ride. So regardless of me probably not caring too much about the story, I'm still looking forward to it. It's going to be fun seeing Laurie Strode have a final showdown with him, and obviously you got Allison who's going to be there as well. I got a feeling Laurie Strode's probably going to die alongside Michael Myers, and I'm interested to see how that all plays out. Number 9 is going to be a movie that I literally just learned about when going to see Spider-Man No Way Home. During the previews, they showed a movie called Moonfall. Now, this is a movie I didn't hear of before. I saw the trailer for the first time during Spider-Man No Way Home's previews, and I was hooked by the trailer itself. I was like, this looks pretty damn good. And you have Halle Berry in it, which she's a great actress. I've seen her in a couple things before. Also Patrick Wilson, so that's exciting. But what really got me excited is after I looked up the director of this film, I looked up a little bit more about this movie. It comes out in February of this year, so we only have to wait a month. And it's being directed by Roland Emmerich. Now, I personally haven't heard of this guy before, but I have seen many of his movies. I just never happened to look up the movies that he directed. But this guy directs a lot of incredible disaster movies, including Independence Day, The Day After Tomorrow, and 2012. I love 2012. 2012 is one of my favorite movies ever. It's within my top 50. Definitely my favorite disaster movie. And Moonfall seems like it's going to follow in those footsteps of being another big disaster movie with a lot of crazy sequences, a lot of crazy disasters, and I think that's something that I kind of have been missing for a while. I don't think we've gotten a really great disaster movie in quite some time. So I'm kind of in the mood for one now. So that's coming out in only a month. That's very exciting. Obviously, Halloween Ends doesn't come out till October, so we got a long time for that. But this one, at least, is very soon. So I'm very anticipated for Moonfall. It's one that I just learned of very recently, so that's awesome. Number 8 is going to be Morbius. Morbius was on my most anticipated for 2021, but of course it got delayed, and it got delayed a long amount. It was supposed to come out January 2021 or something, and then it got delayed like a whole ass year. It was a crazy delay. So with that being said, I'm assuming they took that time to really make the movie the best it could possibly be, I hope. And what got me really excited is honestly after seeing the connections between the Sonyverse and the MCU, especially with Venom 2 and having that little tiny crossover in No Way Home, but not really a big one. But also, of course, you have the other things that were crossing over within the Sony movies all the way into the MCU movies. So now that we know that Sony will like to do some crossovers here and there, that gets me more excited for what Morbius has to offer, because it might actually connect more to the MCU. We know Michael Keaton's Vulture is going to be in it. We don't know how he's going to be in it. We don't know if it's going to be the same MCU Vulture we know from the MCU, or if it's going to be another variant of him and from another universe. I don't know, but I don't really care. I'm still excited to see Morbius just as a movie as well. The movie itself looks interesting. The trailers have given off this dark, gritty vibe, which we don't normally get from Marvel. Like, that's one thing I've been missing from Marvel. I don't think they've really done much of that since Logan. I want more darker, grittier Marvel films. I feel like a lot of them add way too much comedy, and there's definitely comedy in this trailer, don't get me wrong, but it looks like they're not going to go that far with it, and it's going to be more focused on the gritty aspect of this character, and I'm really curious to see how that plays out. I'm sure it's still going to have a lot of humor in it, just like Venom did, but I hope it's definitely toned down, and we can get an actual serious Marvel film that's really solid. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm interested to see the inclusion of different characters. And this comes out really soon. This comes out this month. Hopefully it doesn't get delayed. I don't think it will. It's coming out really soon, so there's no way they're going to delay it again. They probably would have announced that by now. So definitely looking forward to that. And number 7 is going to be another movie releasing in January, actually releasing in literally like less than 2 weeks, and that's Scream. So obviously you guys know I'm a big fan of Scream. We watched them for the first time on this channel, all 4 of them, and I thoroughly enjoyed pretty much all of them. The only one that I thought was maybe a little bit lower than a good movie was maybe the 3rd one, but even then I still really enjoyed it. But 1, 2, and 4 are all really good movies in my opinion. I think 1 is like top tier, and then, you know, 4 is also pretty damn good, and I have a feeling this one could definitely be just as good. But the only issue is you don't have obviously Wes Craven there, so it's definitely a little worrisome of how these new actors are going to handle the film. But not these new actors, these new directors, because there's 2 new directors, and I haven't seen any of their other horror films that they did. I believe they did a horror film called VHS. I have not seen that yet, so I'm not familiar with their other work. But I'm going to be hopeful. I'm going to be hopeful that they can bring a good, solid Scream movie here. I hope this does something very original and it's not retreading things that the prior 4 films did. And I hope, as much as I love Sidney, Gale, and Dewey, I love those characters and I can't wait to see more of them, I do hope they actually kill one of them off, just to add some bigger stakes and intensity to the film. And I think it could make for a really heartbreaking scene that could really bring this franchise together. And I'm okay with this being the final Scream movie, but I don't think it will be, just because they're calling it Scream. Just because they're calling it just Scream, I feel like that they're gonna do something with maybe redoing something, maybe doing a sequel after this as well with these new characters. I don't know, but I hope they at least give us a final touch to Sidney or Gale or Dewey's character, or maybe even all 3 of them. Don't have them all die, but at least give us a finale to their characters, because we don't need to see them in that many more movies. I love them, but I think they do need to do something where it finalizes their characters, just like I hope they do with Laurie Strode in Halloween Ends, which I'm assuming they will. But I'm definitely looking forward to Scream. Most of their movies have been pretty solid, so I'm not too worried about this one. The only thing I was a little worried about is not having Wes Craven, but these other directors seem like they could probably handle it well, so definitely looking forward to that. Number 6 is going to be Thor: Love and Thunder. This movie has gone up and up my list as we've gotten more things announced about it. A lot of people were skeptical after hearing the whole thing with Lady Thor, with Natalie Portman being Lady Thor. I'm not too worried. I think Natalie Portman's a great actress. I'm excited to see what they do with her. I just hope Thor as a character isn't like sidelined because of Lady Thor. Like, I'm okay with having Lady Thor there, but don't sideline Thor just for that. You know what I mean? Like, you can have both of them be there and they can definitely work together well. Just don't like make Thor like a side character, essentially. That just wouldn't make sense to me. You're going to see the Guardians of the Galaxy characters in here as well. I'm not sure if all of them are going to be there, but we know for a fact Star-Lord is going to be in it. I believe Nebula was confirmed to be in it as well. I'm not too sure if all of them will be. I'm assuming all of them will be. So that's really exciting. It's going to probably help, you know, tease and hype up the Guardians of the Galaxy, the 3rd film. So that's awesome. Christian Bale in this movie as the villain. Did not see that coming, but that is awesome. And of course, the director, Taika Waititi, I can never say his name properly. I think I just did, though. Did I just say it properly there? I think I did. But he's a pretty damn good director. I didn't love Thor 3. Like, I wasn't as big of a fan of it as other people were, but I still really enjoyed his style and his directing style in that film. I just think the comedy was a bit much. Like, just tone back the comedy just a tiny bit. I don't think they will, though. I think this one's probably going to go even harder with the comedy. But I can definitely enjoy it. I definitely liked Thor Ragnarok enough to be excited for this film. I just hope it's not over the top with the comedy as much as that one was. Give us some serious scenes. And I don't know, just all this stuff just sounds good to me. Guardians of the Galaxy characters is probably the thing that threw me over the edge to make it be included in this list. Otherwise, I don't know if it would be this high, but I don't know. Still very excited for that. And that also releases in July, by the way, which is not too long from now. I don't think it's going to get delayed to 2023. And coming on the 5th spot, Jurassic World Dominion. So this is sounding to be one of the best Jurassic Park movies ever, in my opinion. So I was a huge fan of Jurassic World. Obviously, I love Jurassic Park as well, but Jurassic World, well, out of the recent ones, was one I really enjoyed. Didn't love Fallen Kingdom, though. I thought that was definitely a step back, probably one of the worst Jurassic Park movies, unfortunately. But apparently, Jurassic World Dominion is going back to the original director from Jurassic World, not the one, I guess they have as a new director for Fallen Kingdom. Don't know the whole story behind that, but that gets me more hyped, because if we have the director from Jurassic World, which is the one I liked a lot more, that is definitely, good. And I think the best thing about this movie is the fact that all, or at least most, of the original actors are returning from the original Jurassic Park. So of course you still have Chris Pratt as Owen, as well as the character of Claire, who are returning from Jurassic World and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, but you also have Alan, Ellie, and Ian all returning, apparently, I'm not 100% on that, from the other films. We do have some prologue stuff from this film. There's no trailer, but there's a 5-minute little teaser preview thing, and it was pretty cool. Kind of just teased a little bit of this film. It's going to obviously have dinosaurs on, in the United States, essentially just roaming free, which is a really interesting concept, because I mean, you have so many of these films now, and it's like you can't just keep doing the same island stuff over and over again. I think this was the best direction to take the franchise. Make it just crazy. Do something insane with it. And I can't wait to see how it all plays out. And I hope they actually have some really crazy sequences where there's these big, dinosaurs going through cities and stuff. And I don't know how that's going to play out, but I'm very curious to see how it plays out. So even though we haven't had any trailers yet, it comes out in June. So I'm assuming we're going to start getting trailers within the next few months, which is really exciting. And I'm definitely going to be doing some reactions to those trailers, because I'm definitely looking forward to this movie. It is within my top 5. So yeah, Jurassic World Dominion, probably going to be a damn good movie, hopefully. Number 4 is going to be Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. If any movie is going to be delayed on this list, it's this one, because this releases December 16th of this year. So yeah, literally just gets delayed a couple weeks and it'll be in 2023. But I hope it doesn't, because I'm very excited. I am one of the people who love Aquaman. I thought that was a fantastic movie, mainly because of James Wan's incredible directing. He is slowly becoming one of my favorite directors after seeing this, after seeing The Conjuring, after seeing Malignant. I need to watch more of his movies. Of course, I love Saw as well. James Wan has just been on top of it. I love his style. I love the way he does shots and the way he does interesting camera angles, and his action scenes are just to die for. The visuals in Aquaman were incredible. If we get anything like that in this second one, it's going to be incredible. The little teasers they've given us so far have been pretty cool. They've given us some awesome shots of different characters and their costumes and such, but no full trailers yet. But everything so far about it looks good. A lot of characters are returning. Black Manta's returning. Of course, Patrick Wilson's returning. And of course, Aquaman himself. I know a lot of people are not happy about Amber Heard returning. Look, I don't like her as a person, but I didn't really have anything against her character, though, so I don't think it's going to negatively impact the film just because I don't like the actress, just because I don't like her as a person. That does not mean I can't still enjoy the film. I know a lot of people are saying that we're going to boycott the film because of it. I'm not one of those people. You shouldn't boycott something that a whole bunch of people worked on just because one of the people who are working on it you don't like. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense to me. I'm still really excited for this damn movie, and because of the previous Aquaman and how much I like that, there's really no reason why I won't at least enjoy this. So yeah, there's got to be a lot of excitement there. Number 3 is going to be The Flash. This comes out in November, so this also has a potential of being delayed. Hopefully not, though. The Flash is a movie I would have probably not had this high. It would probably be maybe in the top 10, but not this high if it was just The Flash. If it was just a Flash movie about The Flash, that's it. But this is a multiverse movie with Batman characters in it. So Batman being included is automatically what puts it higher. Michael Keaton's Batman from the original Tim Burton movies, that got me the most hype. The little teaser we got just showing him in the cowl walking out in the Batcave was awesome. I mean, that's all I need to see to get really pumped for it. And also, of course, Ben Affleck's Batman is going to be in it as well. Like, that alone is enough to get me hyped. I don't know what they're going to do with it. I have no idea what the direction is going to be of this story, but that is enough to get me on the edge of my seat excited for what this film is going to be able to do. I'm, again, not sure what the story is actually going to be about, but just the little teaser they gave us was pretty damn awesome. Also, the Flash looked awesome in it too, and there were some other characters that I'm not too sure who they were there. I'm looking forward to it, but obviously the main thing is just what they're able to do with, of course, Michael Keaton's Batman and also Ben Affleck's Batman, because I really like Ben Affleck as Batman. I don't think he's going to return after this. This might be his last film as Batman. I hope it's not, but it has potential to be. If it is, oh well, we still have other Batman characters out there, but I would like to see more of him. It's just unfortunate that this might be his last appearance. Hopefully it's a good final appearance then if it's going to be his last. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. Number 2, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which is releasing in May. It was originally supposed to release in March, but it got delayed, which I'm okay with because there's something else coming out in March, which is even more exciting. We'll talk about that later. But Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness is one I've been looking forward to, especially ever since Spider-Man No Way Home. Because of all the multiverse craziness, it's just going to be really cool to see what they're able to do with this story here. I was not a massive fan of the first Doctor Strange. I liked it enough, but I wasn't like crazy about it. But this one feels like it's going in a completely new direction. Sam Raimi's directing it, which, I mean, it's all you need to hear for me to automatically be on board is Sam Raimi's directing it, right? Another thing, you have Wanda in the film, which is going to be awesome. You have American Chavez, is that her name? I don't know. There's some new character who, I don't know her name exactly, but she's in it and she looks pretty interesting. And of course, there has been a lot of rumors of possibly some X-Men cameos in the film, which if that is actually true, that is going to be insane. Just seeing them going through the multiverse, which is I feel like what the film's going to be about, it's going to be awesome. And if we actually do get those cameos, I think the whole theater is going to be freaking out just as much as they were in Spider-Man No Way Home. And also, based on that little trailer we got, seeing that evil Doctor Strange there, which of course was in the What If series, is awesome. Like, he looked really cool, and if that's going to be the main villain of the movie, or at least one of the villains, that's going to be really fun to see. So there's a lot of potential for this film, a lot of potential, and Sam Raimi directing it is enough for me to be like, yeah, I trust him, I trust what he's going to do with this movie. And by far, number 1 is Matt Reeves' The Batman. That was an easy choice. This has been my most anticipated movie for this year, ever since it was announced, honestly. Well, ever since it was announced, I was very excited for it, but obviously they kept delaying it, so I wasn't 100% when it was going to come out, but I knew for a fact this was going to be my number 1 for this year, no matter what else they announced, unless they announced, like, I don't know, something crazy, because this was just by far the one I've been most excited for. I'm a huge fan of Batman, you guys know that, but especially the grittier, more serious, more grounded Batman films, kind of like the Dark Knight trilogy, which this seems like it's going to be kind of following in those footsteps, but in a completely different director style. It almost like a David Fincher style. I know Matt Reeves is definitely a different style than David Fincher, but it almost feels like he's trying to go in that direction of a movie like Seven, for example, and that's perfect for Batman. That is absolutely perfect. And the trailers we've gotten so far have been incredible. Everything about this looks amazing. Robert Pattinson as Batman looks incredible. Nothing wrong. No complaints with how he looks as Batman. No complaints with how he sounds as Batman. Of course, you have Paul Danu as the Riddler, which the little bits they've shown of him and his voice is just so menacing. He almost seems like a Jigsaw type character, but as the Riddler, which is awesome. Colin Farrell as the Penguin is like one of the weirdest casting choices, but when you see in action, it's like, okay, that looks perfect, which obviously they had to do a lot of makeup for that to work, because obviously Colin Farrell is really skinny and that would make no sense to have him play. That's why I was so confused when they first casted him as the Penguin, but they clearly did a great job with the makeup to make him actually look like the Penguin, and that shit looks amazing, and the action looks good, every little bit of it. The soundtrack from Michael Giacchino is already incredible just from the little bits they've shown us in the trailers. So again, no complaints there. There's no way this movie's not going to be at least an incredible film. I just don't feel like it can be. Like, I have no part of my mind that believes it can be anything less than like a 9 out of 10. Just from the trailers alone, just from knowing who's involved in it, knowing who's directing, who's acting in it. That's all you need to know to be pumped for this movie. So yeah, by far my number one of 2022 for sure. That's gonna do it for this list. There was 2 other movies that were originally supposed to come out this year that got delayed to 2023 that I might as well just mention, just to let you guys know that I'm looking forward to these 2 movies. That is, of course, John Wick Chapter 4 and Indiana Jones 5. Those were supposed to come out this year, but unfortunately were delayed to 2023. They're actually delayed like really recently. Like John Wick Chapter 4 was, I think, delayed just a couple weeks ago, and then Indiana Jones 5 maybe like a month or 2 ago. So unfortunately, we have to wait even longer for those. I've been waiting for Indiana Jones 5 for so long, so that's just annoying that it got delayed again. But hopefully it's the best it can possibly be if it's going to be delayed all the way till next year. But we'll do another list for that, you know, by the end of the year, and we'll be able to include those. Hopefully none of these 10 movies get delayed. Hopefully these all can just stay, and we don't have to worry about nothing. There's definitely going to be other movies that are announced throughout the year that I get excited for, but as of right now, this is my top 10 most anticipated of 2022. Let me know your guys' list in the comment section below. Maybe there's some movies I haven't even heard of that you could let me know about down there in the comments. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Peace out.